How you doing? My name's James Whitaker. Welcome down to the shack. I'm joined by James Savage, National Club Golfer Equipment Editor. And James, we're going to be talking about the Ping iBlade and the golf clubs today.
Yep.
So, do you want to talk a little bit about the technology and how they look?
Yeah, I mean, this was an interesting club from Ping when they brought out the iBlade. The iron had been out for getting on for sort of like 2 years by the time this one arrived. And what's interesting to me is depending on what Ping players want to move into, whether they're S55 players, whether they're I players, is the iBlade going to be a club for them? Who is this golf club going to suit? So I thought it would be a good comparison to test out between the I and the iBlade, to kind of let people know if they're unsure which category that they might fall into. I think the iBlade is a fantastic looking golf club. I think Ping have really nailed it.
Yeah.
Nailed it with the look at that. It looks really smart. But I don't think it's too intimidating to look at. It's not your traditional skinny blade. It doesn't really look like your traditional blade at all, does it? I think of a blade, and I normally sort of like think of just like a lump of metal, really. But they've got this sort of like polymer insert behind the face there, which is all about improving the sort of acoustics and the feel and sound. But it just looks a little bit unusual because you are used to seeing with a blade literally just being sort of like a lump of metal, so that the name and what the actual kind of club looks like, it may be a little bit misleading, but it is still a club that's going to appeal to that better single figure player, isn't it?
It's a very tidy looking Ping golf club, isn't it? That's, there's just kind of, it's all just made, the finish of it's nice, the nice matte finish. I mean, I always associate Ping with lumps at the back of the golf club, whereas this is kind of all cut out. It's all, there's no fancy stuff going on. It's just kind of all, very clean, very contemporary finish to it, and that's why it looks very, very good on the shop floor. Yeah,
and in terms of the performance of the iBlade, what would you expect, and what sort of things and feedback do you think players are going to get from these irons?
Well, I mean, as you said, it's not a true blade. So it's a crossover between a muscle back. I mean, the person who can use this golf club, who would be attracted to this golf club, the way you put it down and look at it, it's quite a wide range of golfer. Once you've got the fitting, got the right shaft in there, you go through that process. I think, I don't think you'd be too scared of hitting the golf club. I don't think it's very intimidating to hit at all. So, it's a good club.
And the I series, I'd say, was kind of a club that Ping brought out that was a very wide-ranging club. It's very appealing to the eye, but doesn't look intimidating at all. I'd say my initial thoughts would be that it would appeal more to your sort of like high handicappers, like 14, 15 handicappers as well. Definitely. Whereas I wouldn't expect the iBlade to kind of go above like 10, for players in suit. That's just kind of what I would expect. Whether or not that's the case remains to be seen.
I think the eye looks like it's going to go a bit higher, and the blade's going to control the ball flight a little bit lower. So if once again, if you're doing the fitting and you're struggling with a bit of height, you'd go into the eye. With a blade, you want to keep the more penetrating ball flight. That's kind of where you'd be going. So across the board there. So
the proof is in the pudding, as I say. Yeah. So there's only one person for this job, and that's our anonymous big hitter. We're going to get him hitting 7-iron in the iBlade and a 7-iron in the eye. Same shaft in both. It's the Project X 6.5 shaft, so it's a real fair test. And I just think it'll be interesting to see, the numbers on the Trackman, how they perform, for our guy. Yeah, like I say, we'll have to just let him have a hit and have a look at the Trackman numbers.
And let's see what it does. Okay, let's have a look at those numbers. Right, okay, James. So we're starting with the blade. Then this is a 7-iron. Ping do all their fittings with 7-iron, so we're going to use a 7-iron to do this test with. So let's have a look at these numbers. And the first number there that jumps out to me is the spin. That looked really high.
That's sort of higher than sort of what our guys hit from some 7.9s we've seen him hit before.
Yeah.
What would you expect to see higher spin with that compared to the eye?
No, I'd expect to see
You'd expect the spin on this to be lower.
on the blade to be a little bit lower, a bit
be
more
lower.
controlled.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean that's on the top of the bracket. I mean, the optimiser there is saying 7.5 at a most. So I mean he's on that number there. So yeah, let's just see how that goes. And that was a bit of a pull as well. So
yeah. What about the height of that shot? Is that that good, or is that?
Yeah, 106 is pretty good. It's fair. Yeah, it's fair. It's not. I think it looks like it's climbing up at the middle of the board.
And I guess that spin rate,
that particular one is,
that's what's contributing to that.
Yeah, I mean that's well out of the bracket there at 8,000. Just kind of looks like it's getting to nearly to the top of its ball flat and then just kind of stalls a little bit. So that's 163. I would expect with the club head speed and the ball speed that we're normally generating to be up at 170, 172. So yeah, 7.7. Yeah, I mean we're getting a bit of a recurring theme here. So this.
Yeah, but I think, and like we've touched on before, it's quite difficult to just kind of, if you pick that head and that head and put them in the same shaft and expect it to all be the same, because the way that the combination of the head and the shaft, like I say, might work with one and not the other. There's
Definitely.
no hard and fast rule to say that, well, I like this shaft and this is going to work for me in every single head.
Yeah, well, the swing weight and there's torque and all that you need to look into.
Get the right.
And you've got to get to know the head first, haven't you?
Yeah.
So, I mean, what we're seeing here is that, obviously quite regularly this head, even though it is a blade, it is producing a little bit more spin than you'd expect. So you'd go into a shaft that's maybe a little bit less spinning.
Yeah. Carry 167. It's not quite optimal, is it? Right, we're moving on to the.
Just move on to the eye. Yeah.
Straight away, yeah. Difference is there.
So a little bit lower on the launch, a little bit less on the spin, and got up to 170. So
yeah, ball speed. Gone up a bit there.
So that's 169. But I mean, I keep pointing out the spin rate here, but that is now less than 7,000. So that's the first time we've got something a bit lower, isn't it?
Yeah, noticing a significant drop in spin between the iBlade and the eye.
Yeah, that's a good shot.
Yeah, spin rate's down almost 1,000 RPM on some of the shots from what we were seeing with the eye there.
Yeah, launch is a little high there, but all in all, it's a better performing golf club, isn't it?
Yeah.
You'd expect this head to launch a bit higher anyway, wouldn't we? Because the sole is a little bit deeper. There's a bit of technology to pop it up in the air.
Now, one key element here is the loft. What you often get with different sets is, the 7-iron loft can be, usually in a more bladed players club, you'll actually get more loft. And this is exactly what we're seeing here. We actually got 34 degrees of loft in the iBlade 7-iron compared to 32. So that's going to, that's obviously a huge factor. That stronger loft is going to result in probably a bit more carry, a bit more ball speed, I'm guessing.
Yeah. I mean, 2 degrees is a lot. It's going to take spin off. Because that head is easier to launch, they have to make it a little bit stronger. Otherwise, it just pop up in the air. But because of that, you are going to get a little bit more ball speed and a little bit less spin to the flight is more aggressive.
Yeah, which is exactly what we're seeing there. You're seeing with the carry that's gone up over 170, spins down in the 6,000s, and obviously that the loft is a factor in how that club's performing.
Which would be an option if you went for a combo of this.
Yeah.
You could, but then you'd have to maybe change. You would have to get the loft here. Maybe crank it a couple of degrees and tall loft it. Is the phrase that we've all heard before. But just strengthen it by 2 degrees just to kind of keep it consistent.
Yeah.
You see a slightly different performance there.
So yeah, no surprise at all, really, is it to kind of see that the numbers, particularly those carry numbers, go up with the eye. Considering that was stronger loft. Interesting that the ball, the height's been fairly similar, hasn't it?
Similar,
yeah. And I guess that's the technology in the eye that's giving it that high.
Yes, the technology in the eye, the
launch.
CG going back. The consistency in the shaft there as well. Project X will fly it a little bit higher, won't it? So, that's kind of you know, the shaft is doing its job, I suppose, in both clubs. Okay, James, so if we have a look at that summary there, you know, once again, club head speed, fantastic, you know, really consistent, only half a mile an hour within there, which is really good. Ball speed, just a little bit more on the eye golf club there, but we'd probably expect that, you know, a little bit stronger on the loft, so the ball's just going to be moving a bit quicker. Launch is very, very similar. The big number is obviously the spin. You know, quite a big difference there in terms of variation, and that's resulting in the extra carry. Yeah,
7 yards of carry is the difference between the two. The sort of launch and the height, fairly similar, aren't they? Again, which is quite interesting. That is the height on the eye, despite having the stronger loft, is actually going a little bit higher. Which is very interesting to look at there. What would you do, like from a fitting perspective? You know, I'm guessing, like we touched on before, same shaft, Project X 6.5, but the combination with the eye, that was a great combination for our guy.
Seems to have worked for him, yeah.
I guess for a fitter, there's things that you could do, isn't there? You know, you might want to have a look at with the iBlade there.
Yeah, there's thousands of shafts on the market, and you know, if you just go to, you know, a good custom fit studio, there's a big variety there that, you know, you could try with different weights, different kick points, and yeah, I'm sure there would be a combo that would work with this head, and then we get that spin number right back to where he wants it to be. So we're getting a more penetrating ball flight. And I did mention as well the loft. You know, if that could be then the final thing, and just maybe strengthen the loft a little bit to control the spin even more.
There's obviously loads of it can be done in that for that custom fitting process, isn't there? And I mean, and Ping do loads of shafts like available. You know, with like no upcharge as well. They've got a really you know, extensive range of shafts. They've got some new Nippon shafts that are available with the iBlade. So it's it's quite interesting to see, and I think that, you know, overall, just the combination with that shaft and eye head was just working a bit better for our guy on the day, wasn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So I think that summarises it all up there, don't you?
Yeah, very interesting. You know, to see those numbers there.
Okay, good stuff. Hope you've enjoyed that video, James. Thanks for coming down to the shack and helping us test out the Ping golf clubs, and we hope to see you again soon. I hope you enjoyed that video. Look out for more videos at the Golf Shack Academy. Like us on Facebook, send us a tweet, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and we look forward to seeing you again soon.